All right, if you are in business ethics, these are the choices that you got to sift, but I wanted to give you a sample, so I decided to sift something else. The story that caught my eye is from the Wall Street Journal, and it is from February 14th, 2025. Uber sues Doordash over food delivery practices. And the claim here is pretty basic. Uber is claiming that Doordash is being anti-competitive and have filed a lawsuit. The first step in Mike Caulfield's SIFT framework is to stop. We don't repost. We don't let ourselves get all fired up or what have you unless we know what we're looking at. And we also need to remember our goals and have that help us keep focused and grounded. What is it that I am hoping to do with whatever that is, and that'll help guide how much time we spend and how much energy. The I is to investigate the source. Do I know what I'm looking at? I was already familiar with the Wall Street Journal. I didn't need to go to Wikipedia to look it up. I could have just breezed right past this, but for your benefit, wanted to say, if you're not familiar with it, the Wall Street Journal is the newspaper that provides extensive coverage of news, especially in business and finance. Those of us that is our discipline, that is our practice, that is part of our career goals or what have you, is a good source for us to be familiar with. As of 2023, it's the largest print newspaper in the world. And I don't read it in print. Instead, our family subscribes to the digital version. And the digital version of it is the second largest of any digital newspaper, second only to the New York Times, which our family also subscribes to. And one thing to remind you of, really, really important, is that we recognize that the news of these organizations, the journalistic practices, is different, a different set of values, approaches than the editorial page and op-eds, which, remember, are opposite the editorial page. The editorial page of the Wall Street Journal is typically center right in its position, and the newspaper has won many, as you can see, Pulitzer Prizes. One thing I haven't shown you yet in this class is Ad Fontes, and I use Ad Fontes all the time. And what they do is they're a nonpartisan organization, and they have people that come in with differing views, but they use the same kind of analysis to look at a number of stories across a period of time for a given news source and to identify, and you can see here, every one of these dots is a news source, and identify how far left or how far right each source was. And then how much was it fact reporting and how much was it all the way on the other side completely fabricated. Just because something is right or left doesn't mean good or bad. We just need to know what we're looking at. An opinion is not bad. Facts is nice if our opinions are based on facts, always a good thing. But I do still read opinion. What I don't spend time, or at least I try not to spend time ever, is on misleading or even fabricated. We could get all the way down to propaganda, where instead of just one individual journalist trying to sway us, it's an actual government or other powerful entity actually fabricating it. So I'm getting off base here. We look at Wall Street Journal, we go, yeah, pretty mixed here. We can see a little bit leaning to the right. I just wanted to show you, I mentioned that Dave and I also subscribe to the New York Times. So I want to show you what happens when I layer New York Times on top of there. So we get a little slice of some differing political views, still based on facts, although they're not entirely fact reporting, as you can see here. Getting analysis, great, and getting some opinion, which can be based on and rooted in those facts as well. All right, so I've investigated my source. Find trusted coverage. I found two. I actually found another one, but I'll share it on the next slide. So Business Insider, which I know, can produce good journalism, as can Reuters, which we've already talked about in our class, and they're essentially supporting the same claim. I was looking for, did any of them have any depth of things that they could share about this story at this time. Seems pretty new. There wasn't anything other than Doordash saying, oh, that's completely fabricated. We don't do these anti-competitive practices that we've been accused of doing. That's all I could find across any of these. There wasn't like any big scoop here other than that the lawsuit had been filed. I did try to get all the way to the original source, and that would be the actual filings in the court in San Francisco. I was unable to, well, I shouldn't say I was unable to. I want to go all the way back to SIFT, or no, to S, and say, oh, by the way, I forgot to mention, this is kind of how I was feeling. Ooh, I order a lot of DoorDash. Ooh, I don't really use Uber. Ooh, I wonder if that is because of some anti-competitive practices. I was kind of like, okay. But remember, what's my goal? What's my focus? My focus was to give you a good SIFT example. My goal is not to like become an attorney on my way to just trying to research this story. So even though I did not take the time to keep going and going, I found this law firm. It's actually a UK based law consulting firm. And they didn't link to the original filing, but it was good enough for me to say, yes, there is an original filing. I just can't show it to you. I shouldn't say can't. I am choosing not to show it to you. I'm choosing to show you the next best thing, but to show you that I made a little bit of effort to get there. So thanks for watching, and looking forward to seeing those of you that are watching this for the class to do some sifting and putting this on my YouTube channel. And this is me learning out loud and continuing to grow and learn and get better at this stuff, just like I am working with you on. Remember what I've said, which I got from Mike Caulfield. I want you to be taken seriously, and these kind of practices can really help us do it. So thanks for watching.